Hi guys, Mindy Brouse here, Foundations Director with CC. Today's project I want to talk and discuss with my tutors is our Van Gogh project for our master artist. I'm super excited about it. This project's really fun. I think the kids will love it. It'll create a real keepsake for the parents and the student to hang up. All right, so let's start. Now, the first thing you'll do is you will have these pieces, multiple copies for your class. I want you to discuss and observe Van Gogh's pieces. Ask the students what they notice. Ask them how his style, which is called post-impressionist, looks different than the other artists we've done so far. And ask him how he's similar and different than the impressionists we've looked at. The brush strokes are much different. They're thicker, they're wider. To me, he's a combination between Seurat and the Impressionists because it's a lot of lines, okay? So have them look at that, let them notice it. Look at Starry Night, discuss that, ask them what they see, ask them what they think, why this is called Starry Night, and what movement Van Gogh is showing in these pieces and what these all represent, okay? So discuss for the first 5 minutes or so. And then you're going to move on to the project. We're going to be focusing on Starry Night this time. Again, remember to say Van Gogh many times during the lesson. Who are we imitating today? What piece are we working on? Van Gogh, Starry Night. Van Gogh, Starry Night. We want to say it a lot, okay? 7 times maybe or more, okay? So you'll have that. All right, and then each student is going to get an 8x10 canvas to take home and do their piece on, okay? So let's go ahead and I'll sit down. I'll show you what we're gonna do. Now, Van Gogh used he used oil paints. We're gonna use oil pastels and another oil to make it look like oil painting. All right, so each of you will have an example piece. It'll be smaller or the larger one. For our project, I will print out and sample that is just this. We are not gonna do the city part. That was a lot to try to do, so we're just gonna kind of zoom in on this piece, okay, for our project. So you'll have a handout like that, but leave those out for the students to look to, okay? So what they're gonna do first, and I practiced right before we started recording, but what you're gonna do first is you're gonna say, I'm gonna walk you through this project today. And they're going to imitate the colors that Van Gogh used. We are not gonna let them use reds and greens and browns for this piece, okay? We're gonna use the colors Van Gogh used. All right, so we'll do that. The first thing they'll do is draw a C on their piece and then fill it in. Okay, so have them do the C in the first and then fill it in. And then you're gonna tell them to do 8 to 10 different yellow dots around their piece. And that goes back to our first 6 weeks of fine arts, right? Dots. So they will do the dots in different places around, okay? Then they're going to use the yellow and they're going to do dashed lines, okay, around the piece, okay? Then they're going to use blue, a light blue, and then a dark blue to create more dashed lines around their piece. Can you see that? Okay. Then they're going to use the brown and the black, and they're going to create the tree. That is actually a tree. I didn't know that. Ha! Okay. The art teacher that I've been working with, she recommends starting at the top and working down, not the bottom. Okay. So work at the top to go down for the tree, or it just kind of never ends. Or maybe it was the opposite. I'll make sure of it. I think that, yeah, no, the bottom. Work at the bottom and go up. So it has the movement of the tree. Okay, so I'm going to fill mine in a little bit more for the black. Okay, so I'm going to fill in that line a little bit. Okay. All right. Now, I went pretty fast, but you all have a whole class to walk through. All right, now this is where it's going to get a little bit interesting. They're going to paint now with vegetable oil and Q-tips. The thing that's important to remember is to talk to them about not blending the colors. So you can see here on one of the practice ones, we got a little bit of green. Okay, so just have them use a different Q-tip for each color, and also try not to blend too much into the other colors. All right, so vegetable oil, and can you see what it's doing to the lines? Can you see that? Okay, so it's smearing them a little bit like oil paint. All right, and so they're going to do that around their pieces. All right, so they need to use a different Q-tip for each color. They need to not use the yellow Q-tip. Like, I'm not going to want to use this on the blue. That'll create green. So one of the big tips will be to make sure the parents are helping, that the parents are engaged on this part, because especially for our younger students, they'll start blending unintentionally and they might get really frustrated with that. So talk about that. My tutors that are working with the younger students, you know your children, you know these students really well. So you are in charge of this, okay? So if you feel like you need to only do one color at a time, you can do that. If you need to specifically ask a parent to do a task for you, you do that. All right, so you can see I've done the dark blue and the yellow. Now I'm going to do the light blue, and that's where it gets a little tricky because it's near my yellow. So I want to make sure I don't do too much green. Okay. Okay. This is a really fun project because it starts to feel a little bit like painting for them. And we're creating movement. As we go on, you'll get to see what we'll get to do for the sky, which will be pretty great. Now, I will have plenty of Q-tips in this class, so if they start to make a green, then just give them a new Q-tip, okay? It's a great way to discuss how Van Gogh had to wait for colors to dry and not create green where he didn't want green. Okay, so as you go along, they can start filling in the white with the blue. Okay, I'm saying okay a lot, sorry. All right, filling in. Now, as they do this, if they start to see that they want more yellow, they can go back and do that. But let's go ahead and do the tree. Do the black, smearing. I wish you could feel this right now because it really definitely feels like oil paint. All right. Watch your vegetable oil. If you need to rinse a dish out and do it again, or pour a little more oil in, do that. All right, so now after I've done a lot of the stars in the tree, I noticed that I don't have a good enough curve over here. So the students can go back and go, you know, I need a little weird curve over here. I need something like that. They can do that, okay? So they do it, and they get back, and they paint it back on. They can do that, okay? This is their piece. Another aspect I really want you to remember is this is not the parents' project. This is for our students, the moms. If they want to do one, will have to create their own, okay, at home. All right, now I wanted to have a little bit of tip there. Okay, so now we've done the initial stars and the tree. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and fill a little bit in and do the curves. Do you remember this is the wind blowing through? Okay, so now I'm going to do that. And so you'll walk your students through that. They're going to do the stars, then the tree. All right, and then they're going to do the movement of the wind. What you're going to tell them to do is they're going to stop, and they're going to intersect and not go through. Okay, so swirl, and maybe I want another one to go over here, and a swirl. And then I'm going to go do it again. Okay, I'm going to go the dashed lines by my swirls that I just created. Okay, and then they'll go paint that. This piece is going to take a long time to dry. So I'll make sure the parents know that. I'm going to have them bring cookie sheet probably to carry it home, just so they don't mess it up carrying it home. Okay, so there I have a swirl. I'm going to get my blue one again. And yes, remember, like I said, I will have plenty of Q-tips. There's going to be plenty, okay? And now, once there's enough blue or whichever color on the Q-tip, they can start using it like a brush. Okay? So they can they can smear the lines they've created, but then they can also paint a little bit with it. Can you see how I'm doing that? Okay. Okay, now, some of these are a little lighter than I want, so I'm going to go back with my dark blue again and fill in. And that's great. Okay, I can also do, at this point, I can do the hills. I just want to have a little touch of the hills down at the bottom. Okay, fill that in with my blue, smear it. Oh, something I forgot. Make sure they put their name on the back first, okay? So that while these are drying, they don't have to pick them up a lot. All right, so now my Q-tip is sort of drying. Gonna move on to, oops, tried throwing at you. A new one, okay? All right, so you're gonna do all this painting and smearing. My goal for you is to help them fill in all the white, okay? So they're gonna do that with, again, I got a little bit on my brown there, that's okay. I'll turn it around. Now, they're gonna start rushing possibly like I'm doing here, and you're gonna just slow them down. Say, okay, wait, which color do you wanna get again? Do some more dashed lines. Even if they want to do more yellow, they can fill in some more yellow in those spots, okay? Even past, and then they'll fill that in, okay? They can fill in their lines. All right, so this is getting to be closer to be done. Can you see the swirls of movement? All right, it's okay to have a little bit of white around the swirls because there's white paint, but I think they'll prefer if it's mostly filled in at the top of the canvases. So have them do the lines. Again, remember to get them to do dashed lines because the dashes look more like his paint strokes. And that's what we're aiming for, okay? Could you see him? My son is being a goofball over there. Coming through, did he? Yeah, okay. All right. So can you really see, I'm going to have my photographer zoom in. So this is what a line looks like right here before I do the oil on it. Got it? All right, and then watch. Okay. So they don't want to smear it all the way, but they can use it to create more lines, okay? And then, yeah, so that, I mean, that's the gist of the project. It's really fun. They're going to love it. The moms are going to all want to do it, actually, so you'll have to watch that. But, and again, let's see, what other do I need to remind you of? Remember to help them avoid going green. So see, I got a little green there. It's okay. I can dab it with a Q-tip a little bit to get it off if a student needs to, but it should be too fine unless they get a lot of green. Okay, now we want to avoid a lot of big paint strokes. So the great thing about this vegetable oil, do you see where I have some oil? I can go back and add some lines on the oil and it'll blend. this video is getting long. I'm sorry, because I'm having fun. Ah. All right, I'll stop. You have the gist, okay? But that is going to be a really beautiful piece for them to take home, okay? Van Gogh Starry Night. Thanks, guys.